Hello, everybody, and welcome in episode 102 of Illiana Stock Car Radio on the 2025 season premiere. I am Jeremy Benning, along with the brothers Goodacre, Chris and Brian, waving the green flag here on 2025. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, I feel like we were
Made
just
it.
doing this.
Made
Yeah,
it through the holidays. All those
Like our
miles
shortest off
traveled to
season ever.
Iowa.
yeah. Now's the time to do the
Dirty.
essay. You know what did I do on my Christmas vacation?
Let's see. Got sick,
Work.
got better,
Got
went
sick
to
again.
holiday stuff, got sick again, working on getting better. It kind of ruined a lot of my what I was planning on doing because it's hard to do anything when I'm sitting or laying in bed trying to breathe.
Yeah. Breathing is essential.
It is, yeah.
It's frowned upon not being able to do it. Brian, how was your holiday break?
It was good. It was busy. Did a lot of traveling. Visited the in-laws. Had some in-laws come here. Ironically, the same in-laws. But went and
Yeah.
visited father-in-law over there in Iowa. Actually, we've been chatting it up a little bit. So they're friends with Dark Side Promotions. If you follow dirt racing, you know who Dark Side Promotions is, mainly in the Iowa area, but kind of tied with the Izzo clan at one point. And they play darts or bowl together or whatever. Been talking, and there's a late model race at the end of March that I'm might be getting credentials to. So
Oh boy.
the holidays, the holidays
Uh,
were productive.
Networking. Let's do
It's
that
not the same weekend as the
Yeah.
memorabilia show, is it?
It is not. It's the 28th,
Okay.
29th.
Yeah,
so-
say talking about somebody's attention perking real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
He's like, wait
Yeah,
a
he
minute.
needs-
Wait a minute.
He needs someone with a strong back to carry all
Yeah,
those boxes.
I remember how much that is to load and unload.
Yeah,
You're gonna need me to drive a semi next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
guess
guys are
this
getting
year.
close to
Plus,
that.
we gotta have somebody to run the table while the other
Mom.
Yeah,
We got mom.
yeah, and mom is pretty good at it.
She's
Can probably twist Julie's arm to come help too.
she's better than I am.
At this point, we're gonna need another table just for the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway,
Kind of
Steve, just give us the whole front hall. We'll
Yeah,
be right
we've,
there with Stan and Don, and everybody else can go in the back.
now that we've jumped to the end of the show and started talking about future things.
yeah.
Anyway,
So
holidays were good.
yeah,
How-
Productive. I
yeah.
started a new venture. It's called
Painting.
my wife makes me do stuff. So as you can see here,
not
are
a
the-
new venture. That's anybody's been married got the honey-do list.
As
But
I've been telling
years.
everybody at the RC track, Brian had a lot of dew on his list, not so much honey.
yeah.
There's
So
definitely not a lot of honey done on that list either. Yet, is there?
no, correct. So we are in the middle of redoing the kitchen. Not full blown. Really just gonna paint the walls, paint the
A little freshen, a little
little
rewrap,
fresh
huh?
up. Yeah, we're in the middle of painting the cabinets. And like if you've ever sanded anything, whatever, you ever used a palm sander, shit's
Mhm.
everywhere.
Yep.
Mhm.
Shit's everywhere. There is sawdust in places that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
So
you got sawdust in places you didn't know you had places.
Yeah, I know. So it's been fun. I've been watching sports, a lot of sports. So,
I'm sure Kelsey
That's-
appreciates that.
that's how the holidays have been. So here we are, right back at it. Our 3-week hiatus is over.
Yeah, that's
Back on
it.
the
Yeah,
mics.
As we
back
often
at it.
say, what off season?
That's pretty much it. But
Had our
yeah, I
holiday
mean,
break and almost had a snow day.
almost. Not
Not
quite.
quite.
Is that well?
4 inches
When,
ain't enough, I guess.
Not to steal Jeremy's segue here, but when I got the message
about 4 inches or what?
Now when I got
I
the
promised 6. Was it? I mean, what are you talking about?
Jeez.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's see. We made it 5 minutes where it went off the rails?
Something like that.
So yeah, when we had our first what do you want to say, voluntold, Eddie Wolf sent me a message, hey, when's your next podcast? Clay's gonna be on it. So
that's what we got coming up on this episode. We got Clay Curts coming up here in our first interview segment, first one of 2025. Special announcement from him. If you haven't seen, he's going full-time racing the Midwest Truck Series this year. Dabbled in it a little bit last year, but going to get the opportunity to go full-time this year.
I saw him run a few practice laps at Grundy before.
So we'll
raining.
talk with him about that and kind of check in with him. just kind of about what he's got going on here in 2025. I know there was some medical concerns with him towards the end of last year too. Had a bit of an incident, so we'll check in, make sure he's going to be all good to go here in 2025. Then we had a couple schedule drops this week, so we'll kind of recap that and kind of look towards the 2025 calendar, highlight some events there. So want to implore everybody out there who's watching us here on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us, which helps us help you. If you are an audio only listener and kind of old school in that way, we appreciate that as well. Please make sure
It's okay if you don't want to look at us. I mean,
yeah, we definitely have faces for radio, so I get it.
I think even
understand.
Mom listens to the audio version.
You know, the audio is easier just as you're driving, you know, throw us on. We're a little bit of mindless noise, you know, a little background.
Hey.
Yeah, come on, really. So yeah,
just because it's true, don't mean you got to admit to it.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. We should be there. So like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you got to do on your podcast app of choosing that you listen to us on. Go ahead and make sure you do that. Again, helps us help you. So without further ado, what do you say we bring on Clay Curts?
All right. Well, welcome into Illiana Stock Car Radio Podcast. Clay Curts. How are we doing tonight, Clay?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. We're all doing well, I think. You know, we're alive in here.
Yeah, it's midwinter.
We have survived
rough time for everyone.
Yeah,
we've survived the holidays and on to 2025. And it was brought to our attention that you have some big news that has already been announced, but we've brought you on to talk about it a little bit here tonight.
Yeah,
so tell us what's going on.
Next season, we're going full-time Midwest truck racing. We're going to continue working with 31 Motorsports and Trevor Askey and Paul Block. We brought on Viper forklifts, kept on G&S trailer repair, and we brought on QA1 shocks as well to help us along. Really excited for it. Glad to be working with these guys again. We had a blast last year, and hope we can continue the success.
Good. Now, how many truck races did you guys do last year?
I think it came out to about 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, we had a rain out at Grundy. I think even that would be a quarter. I think we made 2 practice sessions and that was it.
Yeah, I think I got about 4 pictures of the truck.
Yep.
One of those was from the night before.
Yeah.
Good. So moving up to, I kind of did a small look over the Midwest tour. I saw they got 15 races scheduled. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Part of me is looking forward to Kaukauna the most. I have some unfinished business there. We were doing really good in the Mid-Am car 2 years ago, I believe. I had a little incident and took out about 30 feet of guardrail. That was almost an expensive bill, but we got pretty lucky on that one. So that one definitely, to get back there, this place is pretty cool. It's pretty wild. It's definitely probably one of the scariest tracks in Wisconsin, I would say, out of all of them. But it's a cool one. And Slinger again, kind of being alongside the Nationals. That's a cool deal to be there, part of that. I know we're a couple days before the Nationals, but nonetheless, still a cool race, cool track.
Sure. Good. So this team is separate from Eddie Wolf, correct? And
Yes.
And everything you guys have going on there.
Yep.
So kind of talk about your background in racing, growing up maybe around the racetrack and racing for Eddie Wolf, who has done some traveling himself and gone on dirt. I remember a couple of years ago I was out at Kankakee and you put on quite the show on the dirt. You know, thought maybe you might be switching over to a different track surface.
Yeah, actually, I think asphalt would be my switching back. I grew up, our family, the Izzo family, related to them, working, growing up at everything at LaSalle Speedway. So, I mean, huge dirt background for me. It's what I grew up with. That's all I really knew. And then, we went asphalt racing, kind of was questionable by the family. They didn't really understand that one, but we did it anyways. We started at South Bend, ran 4 cylinders for a year, and kind of decided that if you're going to do it right. and jumped right to the late model. That was pretty interesting there.
It's very kind to say interesting.
I seem to remember you doing fairly okay your first round in late
Yeah,
model.
we did okay. I think we did get the championship, but I don't put too much weight on that one. It was a very big learning experience, a lot of competition, but yeah, we did that, and then we got hooked up with Dan Ahern. Started racing super lates at Grundy. I've been doing that now for I gotta say 5 years probably. Got that mid-am car to kind of mess around with that thing, have some fun, some cheap fun that turned out to be not that cheap. And then, we started playing around with these Midwest trucks and had a blast.
So what do you have most fun doing? Dirt, asphalt, truck, mid-am, doing Bahama brackets maybe?
Bahama brackets at Rockford, yes, that's probably up there at the top of the list. Dirt racing was surprisingly more fun than I thought it was going to be. I think I definitely maybe chose the wrong pavement or surface, but maybe we'll work on that too.
That'll make all of our dirt guys go crazy over here.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you mean, dirt guy over? I think Brian's
Yep.
salivating.
Yeah, a little bit.
I got some good pictures from that night.
Yeah, I think the Kankakee night we threw that one away. I don't think I could have done any worse. That was pretty bad. I hope you went to the next night at least at Sycamore.
I did not. I was at Shady Hill. I was photographing down there, but I saw on Facebook you ended up winning at Sycamore.
Yeah, that was Sycamore's an awesome racetrack. The first year we ran there, ran good, and overdrove turn one, jumped the cushion, and climbed the fence. And I think there's a picture somewhere of the roof number clearly visible from the infield. So that was my entrance to dirt racing. I learned really quick.
Classic first timer, right?
Yeah.
So once the student now maybe a little bit of a master and teacher, how often are you really working with Cam Preisler now that he's kind of stepped in to be a little bit of a teammate while you guys are racing for Eddie?
Yeah, I'm more so kind of just advice. He does a lot of the work himself, or him and Eddie do a lot of the work at the track and during the week. But yeah, I kind of step in just to give him advice. He knows a ton. He's learning quick. He doesn't really need a ton of guidance, here and there. I think he had a couple of incidents leading features this year that we had to give him some advice on. But other than that, he did really good. We're really proud of him. And we're working really hard this off season actually on the car. It was down to a bare frame. It wouldn't get painted, and I'm actually going to go down there tomorrow. Hopefully, wrap some stuff up on it.
Awesome, exciting. So, what other plans might you have for 2025? Are you going to chase any of the Mid-Am series? I know I just saw they had some sort of meeting coming up, and there's a lot of uncertainty there with everything going on last year. Maybe you're going to chase some races at Grundy. I'm sure you'll be doing plenty with the Dan Ahern team.
Yeah, we're gonna run a handful at Grundy and the Super. We're in the middle of slowly piecing together a brand new Mid-Am car, kind of put it on the afterburners, focus on the current car we had. Once they release the schedule, a couple tracks on the schedule kind of caught my eye, Winchester and a couple more. So I'd like to get to those. But I mean, other than that, it is 100% focused on the Midwest trucks and try to make a run at that.
Awesome. How many Midwest trucks usually show up to the events?
I just saw something. They averaged 20 or 25, maybe even more than that, I think last year. I know in Milwaukee we were almost 28 or 29, so that was a pretty big one. But they get a lot. It's really deep field too. I mean, on any given night, there's probably 10 to 15 of them that can win.
Good to test your worth against some good competition. I know there's plenty of that in the late model class at Grundy. Some of those kids are coming along, man. The Larry Schuler and Eddie Hoffman days are kind of gone, and they're racing for 4th and 5th, while you and Blake and Stan and God only knows who else. There was some kid, I forget his name, 76 maybe. I can't think of his name. He had a couple good nights put together
yeah,
maybe a couple of years ago.
I remember who you're talking about.
Yeah,
His name is
I've slept
escaping me.
since then. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we definitely over the years. I think there's been more of us younger guys, but I still think the older guys still put a whooping on us more often than not. So, but it's always fun to race with those guys.
Eddie and Larry, they put on some good shows last year.
Yes, they do.
What's maybe they're not your heroes, but what's it like racing against
Well,
an
with
old
who
vet?
he's dating, Eddie Hoffman better be his hero.
Yeah. I think on the asphalt side, yeah, I'd have to say going into it, I don't know, 12 or 13 and going to Grundy every night. You go there to watch the black 8-car whoop on everyone in the super lates. So it's kind of always the guy to cheer for as everyone else booed for him. But I always liked him growing up. And then when we started, I always kind of use Eddie as kind of a learning tool. I always try to get behind him in practice, or eventually when he passed me, I would follow him and try to learn from him.
Good. Well, it's kind of early in the year, but maybe you have one positive. Maybe your sponsorship. Maybe that's a pretty good start to the year for a positive note on racing.
Yeah, that kind of makes these next couple months a lot easier going into the season. Kind of can focus on other things. But yeah, with Viper lift trucks coming on, it's a huge bonus for us, and really going to help us get through the year and be pretty competitive and run up front.
Clay, I know your season last year kind of got cut short due to an injury late in the year. Can you speak to that a little bit, kind of where you're at in the recovery process, and if you'll be ready to go come opening weekend here?
Are you just asking for him to give you a thumbs up?
Yeah, thumbs up. We're good. Most of the thumbs still there, so we're good.
Good.
I'm still working on some physical therapy stuff, but I mean we're 100%. We'll be ready to go for the opener this year.
Good. Talking about sponsors, this is a good time. We all see on Facebook a lot of these guys just post, "Hey, sponsor me," sort of thing. You have picked up a big sponsorship deal. Maybe you've had some help along the way doing it. Maybe you know the guy, you work for him, whatever sort of thing. What is what is your process into picking up sponsors? Are you taking them out to dinner? Are you chatting them up? Are you asking them on Facebook like, "Hey, give me money," sort of thing? What is your move to land big sponsorships?
You need an Eddie Wolf. That is what you need. Yeah, he's the most persistent person I know. He can sell anything.
Confirm.
Yeah. I mean, he's by far. I can put everything is on him. He did it. His hard work all day, every day, working and searching for people and making those connections and putting those feelers out there. Him and Trevor Rasky have really worked on proposals and stuff like that. And I have to say it's those guys. That's what you need.
A true driver just worries about getting behind the wheel.
Yeah, that's our deal. Eddie handles all that, and I'm behind the wheel and in the garage.
Yeah, I know my relationship has blossomed quite a bit over here with over there, I guess, with S4 Motorsports and all that Stan and Jeremy do to pick up their 45,642 sponsors that fill up their entire race car. Man,
It's distracting on the racetrack. I'm trying to read all these little stickers.
That's the smoke and mirrors plan of it all.
That's what it is.
Just distract everybody.
Yeah. Well, do you want to take a minute and thank all your sponsors and supporters before we cut you out of here? Maybe talk about some of those trophies.
Yeah. I mean, like we were just talking about, I have to thank Eddie Wolf for all he does. It can be frustrating for sure for him. It's a lot of work along his regular day job. So very thankful for him and all the work he does, and all of our sponsors coming on board this year. We're hoping to announce a couple more coming up, but Viper lift trucks and GNS and Trevor's sponsors that he brings with his truck deal with QA1 and a few more. So very thankful for them and everything they do to get us to the track.
Clay, if our listeners or viewers don't know how to find those sponsorship announcements here that you might have coming up, how can they do that?
Yeah, I mean, they can go to every form of social media and just look up Clay Curts Racing, and we're there, and they'll be there. I'm sure they'll see them eventually.
Oh yeah, I do love Aurelio's. I don't tell them Joe sent me, but I love me a good well done cheese pizza, large.
You gotta tell them Clay sent you. That's what
Yeah,
that's
I
what
don't
gets you
think
the
the one
deal.
here in Valpo is gonna know Clay, but
Maybe not.
I'll give it a shot.
I do gotta be a little bit selfish here in the fact, what's it like having that relationship with Dan Ahern and the Chicago Blackhawks on your car?
It is awesome. Dan he's a great guy. I'm so glad to be able to call him a friend, more than anything. But yeah, I mean, the opportunities him and all his the sacrifices his family have made just for I always say some punk kid he really didn't even know to drive his car. I mean, that's just amazing that he trusted me with that, and we were able to build our relationship over the years. And I'm just super thankful for everything he does. And he works hard too to bring his sponsors and get us to the racetrack every week as well. So, yeah, great friend for the most part, though. I love the guy. I'm always willing to help him. He's always willing to help you, that kind of person. So, yeah, glad to be a part of his team and driving for him.
You'll have to work on him a little bit for us. I think it'd be cool to have him on the show this season and kind of tell his story a little bit.
I will definitely say something. That'd be pretty cool. He's got a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool job too.
Yeah.
He has
Yes.
a very amazing job, actually.
Yeah. Seen him in actions a couple times.
Yep.
Is he the Zamboni driver?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's hell yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Clay. It's a good little short one, but get the 2025 year started off on a high note. And we want to wish you the best of luck this season and hope to see you at the track. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. We're good. Thank you guys for having me.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on. We'll see you at the track, Clay.
All right. See you guys.
All right. And that was our interview with Clay Curts, latest full-time competitor, the Midwest Truck Series this season. Got a lot going on there for Clay this year.
Yeah, that's not quite as busy as our schedule's looking, but he's got a lot of stuff lined up.
Yeah, I was looking at your guys' schedule here the other
Yeah.
day, and
Oh, geez.
yeah, it's quite.
Oh, and it's not done
jam-packed.
yet. They're still getting stuff added to it.
Yeah, because we had a couple schedule drops
Mhm.
Yes, we did.
this week. We'll talk about Kankakee first. Brian, it's your dirt world a little bit. If you want to, throw out some highlights there that you kind of saw on that schedule.
They dropped their schedule this week for the 2025 season. They start first 2 weekends in April with practice, and then first opening night is April 18th again with the Lee J. Hall Memorial. They're racing stock cars and factory stocks are the show. I didn't look too deep into it. I don't know what support classes are coming, but they're both running for, I want to say, $24.90 to win. A lot of support there from the racing world, a lot of donations, a lot of sponsorships, a lot of lab sponsors. I mean, Nippenberg and his crew do a great job of really putting that on. And I think Lee Hall was just one of those guys that a lot of people knew, certainly in the area, everybody knew. And he had a great personality, and I honestly never met the guy. I knew very little about him because I just didn't spend a whole lot of time in the dirt world. But yeah, it's a great race. I know they're really pushing. Well, side note, there was rules and some stuff at the end of last year with some local tracks that maybe didn't quite align. So there's a lot of question marks going into the season with the factory stock class. But anyway, this is on Facebook. It looks like it's going to be a good show. We'll see come April 18th, and I hope that it's a good show. Kankakee could certainly use it. I know the Lee Hall family would certainly enjoy that, and certainly all the race fans. That's what we want, man. We want a good show, and we want a lot of cars. And I know it's expensive to put a car together, especially competitive these days. But these 2 classes tend to show out. So I think Kangakee's the right spot to do it. So excited to see that season kick off. I know they're racing all the way through September with a handful of days off, a fair race. Handful of weeks off. They got their midweek fair race. They've got, I think, 2 Mars scheduled. They got, again, they're early in the summer national tour race. So they got seemingly a special every week, and then maybe I can get out there for the last race of the season when they do the powder puff and the mechanics race. Their night of features. That looked like a lot of fun last year, so maybe I'll try to add that to my schedule as we sit here and talk about adding dates to the schedule, and that big trip in March that I might be taking now. So we'll see. Speaking of big races in the dirt world, side note, Chili Bowl's going on right now down in Tulsa. Big midget deal if you guys are into that sort of thing. For those of us that like fenders on their car, XR has announced the highest paying 4-cylinder race. I'm not sure which rules are going with. I think it was 2 different sets. I know for sure the SCDRA, Skidra, whatever you want to call it. I know that's one of them. I don't know who the other set of rules is, but it's $100,000 to win, $2,000 to start. 4-cylinder Hornet 4-banger, whatever you want to call it, down at Kokomo, and that is April 18th, 19th, I think, as well.
Yeah,
so
it's
that'll
a
be
for show there. Yeah, it's I saw people start posting about that. I'm like,
oh man,
there's gotta be an extra 0 or 2 in there somewhere. But
Yeah.
wow, 100,000 to win. I mean,
that's wild.
That
Yeah,
almost makes me want to ask Eddie if he's got some spare cars laying around.
yeah, no kidding. For that kind of money,
sold
yeah,
out.
you throw a fleet in there, man.
They have
get to any of that.
That was the quickest entry to sell out for XR of all their races, and it was like I think less than a day and a half, and the entry fee was $600. I saw. So, holy shit. But
Yeah.
so there should definitely be plenty of drama leading up to and through the entire event, because the lowest level-ish class is certainly one of the most drama creating ones, and
Half the
I'm here
cylinders,
for it.
twice the drama.
I'm here for it, man. My Facebook has been blowing up nonstop. Not specifically towards me, but like there's just drama everywhere about this race.
Yeah.
And then I think my favorite one was somebody had posted. I won't name names, but if you race the local track and you make this race, there's no way in hell you're legal at the local track. So that was fun, and I think
every tech guy is going to be watching.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I kind of talked about with Nippenberg once was the 4-cylinder class here. You've got Honda Civics, and you got Porsches, and you got Dodge Neons, and not one of them stock. And who you need at least 4 or 5 guys to tech these 4-cylinders. So this will be interesting to see how XR does this. But if you're into big events, this is one I'd put on the schedule.
Yeah, definitely rooting for him to have a good show out and a good race and everything else, because definitely want to promote the lower divisions like that, getting a big premier event like that.
Yeah.
Other announcements this week. Grundy County Speedway finally released their schedule.
I'm still waiting for the phone call for all the graphics for it.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten that yet.
Honestly, I kind of am too. When I saw that posted, like, well, what happened to the what happened to the 5 nights in a row of being on the phone for an hour working on something?
A lot of things to highlight on there. First thing we want to highlight before we get to anything else, let me scroll down to it here. I saw it a minute ago. Where was it? There it is. July 18th, the Ron Goodacre Memorial. Kind of talk about your guys' communication with the track and kind of be able to put that on.
Oh, I'm glad you think there was a story there.
God, I'm trying to dig a little bit.
I think Chris had.
We've been talking about it, for a few years now, and South Bend and really Tony Eldridge was the first one to say, hey, Dad needs a race. So 2022 South Bend did a Ron Goodacre Memorial Night, and that was really special for all of us. And so I want to say Shady Hill had said something, but we haven't really discussed doing anything in particular yet. And Grundy had reached out to me saying that they want to do something. They're just and full disclosure, Grundy had a lot in their schedule last year, so
Yeah, a little bit.
I said, yeah, it doesn't need to be, we don't have to cram something in this year. So when they reached out again and said, hey, we're doing it for real this time, I said, that's absolutely awesome. Dad would very much love that and appreciate that. So yeah, Steve asked me, really is there anything I can think of? I said, well, much to Chuck Uris's chagrin, Dad's favorite number was 44, so throw some extra laps on the late model feature. I think they can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they can do a couple more laps.
Yeah.
I think it'd be all
I
right.
think they can handle it. Although some of those guys need a 100-lap race to win.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, you got the trophy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's right back there.
But
This side. That side.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I told you to pull that out for
Yeah, well, that's what she said.
Well, so it actually worked out. I apologize if I'm stealing your thunder here, but
I have no thunder. You're fine.
the reason we're having it that night is the following night is the Gambler at Plymouth, and Tony was nice enough again to bring back Dad's Memorial. He's going to be the name memorial for the Outlaw Late Models that night. Running, I think I've talked him into twin 44 lap features. I'm not sure yet, but I know it's 5,000 to win. So, that's awesome there that Tony wants to keep Dad's memory alive. I think the last time Dad was at Plymouth, him and Brian went back when it was still dirt.
Yep.
Just Shady Hill, I think, got rained out that night, and
they did. We dropped the boxes off at your apartment and hightailed it out east.
See ya.
Yep. Well,
it wouldn't be the first time.
He was up at South Bend because that was back before the Sours had anything to do with it.
Right.
And I think Frank Marshall was running away with it, blew his motor. Derek Losh was running away with it, blew his motor. So I think by virtue, third place won because the first two blew their motors. But yeah, that was probably the last time he was there. I've obviously since been.
Yeah, you've been there a few times.
Yeah, that was. I know Shady Hill. We've never talked about a race, but they did have some words about them, and I know Billy and Tammy and I talk about them from time to time. Dave has mentioned them. Rhonda's mentioned them. So, yeah, he definitely lives on. And I know, he started as a fan, and I think ultimately was just always a fan of racing. He got good at guessing at where cars were on the track because you can't see through the dust, or they're moving a little bit too fast on some of those shorter tracks. But he was
a
very good scorer.
Yeah, it is a testament to his ability that when after he passed, Billy said, "Hey, nobody else is Ron. We got to run transponders."
Yeah, they tried, I think, like a week or two, and were like, this ain't happening."
Right.
So, yeah, old heads are moving on, man, and things are changing, and we're all relying so much more on technology these days that luckily it works, but when it doesn't, there's nobody that can do it.
Yep. Dad was the best line scorer I think I ever met. I tried to do it a couple times. He was out of town. It took us one weekend a year doing the mission trip. Yep. Yeah. And I had to fill in. And yeah, I don't wish that job on anybody.
It's tough.
Yeah, so we're definitely looking forward to that, and honoring your guys' dad's memory for that entire weekend. So that'll be good.
Hoping we can get as much family in town to be at both races as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think on the S4 side, we've already talked about making sure we're there on the 18th. So I think that's already penciled in the schedule. So
are we going to get like some special trophy made? I guess that's up to you and I.
Yeah, we're working on something. Well, he's
Ooh,
okay. I'm looking for stuff.
he
Who the hell
looking
are
for stuff.
who's we? I haven't heard nothing.
Maybe a trophy be like a football helmet or something.
We
Yeah,
do
you
have
know,
that.
so-
We do have that
Yeah,
old
we-
ass race helmet down there.
We do.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, but that was
unique
Dad's
for me.
helmet. I don't want to give that
Oh.
up.
No. I brought the
Only
colors,
if-
something.
If we do give that up, they have to wear it the next race.
No, that thing is not Snell certified. It's
That thing is it's bad. It's not
the
safety.
last person I saw wearing a helmet like that, I think, was Roger Rubino this year.
Yeah, probably.
Just a white open face helmet with a white bill across. Maybe the service, I think, used to run one too.
It's a black bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I thought,
Yeah, service.
Anyway, but yeah, white open face helmet. Those just don't pass anymore.
Nope.
No, not so much. But a lot on the Grundy County Speedway scheduled to look forward to. April 19th. We're going to kick off practice out there.
Mhm.
Plus, going to do a little bit extra with kids' Easter egg hunt and the Power Wheel races out there.
Oh, I'm sure Cheryl's going to be all over that.
Yeah, so a good way to kick off the season. Then with the 48th annual Spring Classic on April 26th, the Big 8 Late Model Series will be back with the Mid-Ams. American Super Cups and the Grundy Super Cup joint event will be out there, and the Sixers as well. So that's going to kind of kick the season off, kind of a two-parter. And then May 3rd, the Cabin Fever season opener with the Super Lates, Mid-Am, Street Stocks, Pure Stocks, and the Sixers. The Enduros return this year. Frank Welch Memorial on the 6th. Just kind of going through the highlights here. Let's see, what else do we have here? Obviously, the several nights of racing at the fair.
Mhm. Not as many as last
doesn't
year.
look
thank
like
goodness.
as many as last year. I will give you that much.
Admittedly, a week or two ago, I didn't get the full breakdown of what was when. I just got the list of dates from Steve to kind of plan around everything else. And I thought, hey, that's not a 4-day weekend like it was last year. I can work with that.
Yeah, it's a little better.
Probably helps that it falls on a Friday.
Well, yeah, that helps too.
Yes. Then you look at the Midwest Tour coming for the Wayne Carter Classic 100. That race has been moved back to August. To be August
hopefully
15th.
dry season.
Yeah, hopefully get a little bit better weather out of it. I know that
I can't remember the last time I actually got to see that race.
Yeah, it's been plagued by weather a little bit here as of late. Night of features be August 31st. Bettenhausen. The weekend of the 12th and the 13th. So a lot going on.
I think, now, don't quote me on this, but I think we're planning a birthday party after the Bettenhausen's Friday night. That's an important day.
Oh, yes, it is. So yeah, we've got a lot of that going on, and with Kankakee and Grundy and whatnot, we will have our annual promoters roundtables or interviews later this spring. We'll chat them up. So we'll bring in representatives, from the tracks to kind of talk about their schedules and, kind of what's new, what we can look forward to before we all start heading out to the racetrack this season. Let's see, what else do we have here?
Well,
we're about to start real racing, aren't we?
I say if you're done blabbering about the local stuff, we can talk about the big boys.
So yeah, we're getting ready to kick up down in Daytona, like you said, Tulsa, and the Chili Bowl's going on down there.
No, not them big boys. We're talking about the NASCAR, baby.
Yeah, it's getting close, man.
Daytona 500.
Allegedly sold out Daytona 500.
Yeah. 10 years running, it says, according to Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
And Earnhardt will be back in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, Junior Motorsports.
In a way.
Yeah,
that was announced today.
Yep. So we got the looks like Rolex 24s next weekend, the 23rd-ish.
Yeah, I think they have the Roar before the 24, all the practicing and all that stuff this weekend. And then the Rolex 24 will be the following weekend.
Yep. And then Daytona 500s on the 16th, 15th, 16th.
Yeah, we'll have the clash there at Bowman Gray before that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That's
gonna be good. Forget the Daytona 500. Let's watch the clash.
Yeah, I hope they put a boxing ring in the middle of the place and just let them have at it.
Well, it is Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use the football field right there in the middle. It'll be all right.
Perfect.
And ARCA series, they were down and they did their Daytona testing last week.
So Alex Club didn't have a real great weekend.
Yeah, a little bit of issues kind of there. plagued his test time down there, but still rooting for the local guys. I know they had a lot of participants down there. Usually, a lot of guys will use that to help get some approval and stuff for
Well,
NASCAR stuff, like
speaking
somebody named Elio Castroneves,
of,
and
Mike Wallace
yes,
should be allowed to race. At least let him attempt to qualify and get in the duels.
to not give him the opportunity to say, if you just go run the ARCA test and make sure you're
Right.
still good. I mean, if you pass your medical physicals and if it's a question of age or whatever, and then give him a chance to run a truck race or the ARCA race or something.
If Red Farmer can still be racing, then Mike Wallace can still be racing. As long as Lauren Wallace isn't in the same race, because when it comes to the story of those two,
he just put him in the wall.
Yeah.
You know what? Think back several years ago when James Hilton attempted a Daytona 500 at his advanced age and competition level. I think it's really no different here, but unfortunately, some things in NASCAR and times are changing and whatnot, and sometimes their decision making isn't necessarily the best with some of the things that they do, and sometimes it's rules for thee and not for me, and we'll see. But yeah, that was definitely a little bit of controversy this past week. I think Kenny, of course, brother Kenny, had some thoughts to say about it on there. You can go check out his show after you're done watching ours, of course, right here in Illiana Stock Car Radio on the YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. So yeah, big boys, everybody's getting ready to kick off, man.
Yeah,
season's back. We're back. We back.
Yeah, we back already. I mean, because Brian and I were, admittedly, due to my, on again, off again sinus issues a whole winter, I am way behind on everything I wanted to get done. But we've got a trade show not trade show, a swap meet coming up here at the end of February, and then a memorabilia show coming up in March.
Yeah.
Yep.
We sure do. Wow, that was just yeah. I felt like yes, we do.
That's where you start talking about the swap meets.
Yep, Stan Larson and family present. I think it's 20th annual. Yeah, 20th annual swap meet racers swap meet trade show where there's people there selling cars. There's people there selling
Pretty sure
parts.
I saw Dan Odell there last year in between my sinus issues.
Who was there was a turbo stock driver that was there selling stuff, and then we saw him again at the memorabilia show and we chatted him up.
I have no idea. I
don't
remember a whole lot of that. Ed Hast. Ed Hast.
Yeah, he was down there.
I spent most of that day kind of half asleep in the truck because I had all infecty.
Yeah. So there's a couple different used parts tables. I know right across from us was a giant 4-8 table. I mean, it was a lot of table. I mean, it was almost like they brought the whole scrapyard with them, sort of thing. So that goes on February 22nd down at the Jasper County Fairgrounds in Rensselaer. I think maybe a mile off of 65. And then we moved to March.
Yep. We got Steve's Racers Reunion Memorabilia Show where we're going to be doing our standard live, let's see who can wander by the table and get tricked into answering some questions.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot coming up here in 2025 as we get ready to kick the season off, man. We hope everybody's looking forward to it. Before we get out of here, anybody got one positive?
I can breathe out of this nostril.
I count that as a positive.
It's been short and it's not racing related, and I absolutely hate Notre Dame, but good for Marcus Freeman, man. Good for Marcus Freeman and getting that team put together. I think they're going to be a little bit too decimated with injuries, but I thought the same thing when they played Penn State, and they pulled it off. But I don't know, man. Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State is an absolute dog, and he's going to be tough to cover. So good for Notre Dame. Boiler up. Go basketball.
I'm going to say, is it bad that I didn't want anybody to win this championship this year?
But I will sit back and I will watch the game and enjoy it the best I can. Have a few Miller Lights. I think I should just be
Well,
sponsored
so
by
did Aim
Miller
and
Lite at
Ohio
this point.
State. So yeah, I think I knew more than a few.
Beer sales have been pretty good in my neck of the woods out there in the Marshall,
Yeah, I would think so.
Fulton County. So that's I guess that's that's the blessing in disguise there. But good for a local team. 2 Midwest teams. Actually, I was looking at
Oh
something
god,
on-
your sister-in-law, however the relationship with Jess. You're about to say something about the SEC, and she's gonna
no,
be.
I was not gonna say anything about the SEC, but they do suck now. Now that everybody can pay their players. Anyway, I know this is a racing podcast, but
Tune in
of
next week when we start our football podcast.
of all of the college football championship games, every team from D1, FCS, college football playoff, all the way down to NAIA. So if you don't know anything about that, you'll have to go look. There's D2, D3, whatever.
Yeah, you have to Google it like the rest of us.
Yeah. Every team that played was from the Midwest. And I guess it's kind of loose from like Ohio all the way to the Dakotas, but they were all north of the Mason-Dixon and between the Appalachians and the Rockies. Every
So this
team
is
that
kind of
played.
anti-SEC.
So SEC sucks, but the racing's good down south. There's a lot of it. So when football's over, we got racing.
Yeah, and that's
There you go.
exactly it, man. My hashtag one positive would be something we talked about just a little bit ago. Earnhardt's returning to the Daytona 500. Junior Motorsports fielding that number 40 car for Justin Allgaier. Selfishly, tie in a local connection. Would have loved to see Jim Pullman go with him to the Cup race to do the one-off Daytona 500. That would be cool, but Greg Ives will be on top of the box for Justin. That Chris Stapleton Travelers Whiskey number 40 Chevrolet looks pretty good, so we'll be rooting Midwest guy Justin Allgaier on at the Daytona 500. Again, watching this here on the YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. That's all kind of right there next to it. Again, helps us help you bring this content to you here this season in 2025. You listen to the audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, wherever you listen to us. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, follow, rate, and review. Help bring it up the lists a little bit. Also, Facebook, Instagram at Illiana SCR. You can kind of keep tabs of show announcements, and anything else that we've got going on with the show. You can see us there as well. Keep up with these guys at Goodacre Photography and goodacrephotography.com. Chris, you got that website done yet?
That's one of the things I haven't been working on while I've been laying in bed trying to breathe.
Well, the old one still works, right?
The old one still works, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Goodacrephotography.com. You guys need something, need a wrap design for this year, T-shirts, driver cards, anything like that. Make sure you hit these gentlemen up there.
Speaking of, if you haven't seen the schedule yet, get on that driver card like right now.
Yeah, like right now.
Yeah, week 2 at Shady Hill.
Yeah, so this is your pre-warning. Don't wait. Don't be one of those guys or gals that waits till the last minute.
Yeah.
So we got anything else? Anything else this week, this episode? Green flag episode of Illiana Stock Car Radio here.
I think we covered all my notes.
All right.
I think so.
Oh, did you guys get did you guys get an invite to interview for the Bears coaching job? I think they've taken everybody.
Mine must have got lost in the mail.
I did see they were very seriously considering Mr. Coach Klein.
yeah. I think they're up to 19.
I think they couldn't do any worse.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
One of them's got to work, right?
You would think so, but this is Chicago, and we do not have good luck with head coaches on any of our sports teams.
Poor Bedard.
Not to throw another match onto the fire, but what's Lovey doing?
He's got his feet kicked up, man.
I seem to remember us, thinking, "Hey, Lovey's not doing a great job," and firing him, and then
hasn't been the same since.
Haven't looked real good since then.
I saw somewhere somebody said we fired Lovey Smith after a 10-6 season.
Yeah.
If that happened today, we'd throw him a damn parade.
Exactly.
That's it, man.
It's been bad, man. It's been bad. It's the Lovey curse.
Yeah, every Chicago sports team is cursed. I think we still wear the curse for having
the Bulls were okay for a few years.
We still I think
we
will
spent
forever
all of our good on Jordan.
On Michael Jordan. That's pretty much it.
Hawks had a good run there too.
Yeah, Kane and Taves, Michael Jordan. Yeah, we're screwed forever.
Yeah, Chicago sports.
Gotta love it, man. So if
Yep.
you made it this far, I want to thank you for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review, and whatever medium or platform you watch or listen to us on. I want to thank our guest Clay Curts for coming in on this episode and talking with us for a little while. For Chris, Brian, and myself, thank you again. We hope you tune in again next time here to Illiana Stock Car Radio.